we can all agree that there's been little justice for apartheid crimes in South Africa. Take this ruling by a High Court in KZN last week that found that the former ANC president, Albert Luthuli, was actually assassinated by the apartheid government 58 years ago, and that he was not run over by a train or deaf or blind, like they tried to make us believe. But why does this matter nearly 6 decades later? It comes down to justice. And justice can only be served if we agree on how bad the crime of apartheid actually was. This is why there is a huge push now, 31 years later, for apartheid to be recognized as a crime against humanity.
Many people hear the word apartheid and think of it as an old story and one that we should move beyond. We can't do that for several reasons. The first is simply because no one has been successfully prosecuted for the crime of apartheid anywhere in the world. What we know for a fact is that in the South African context, the legacy of apartheid in real economic terms, in social terms, in political terms, is a fact that we deal with on a daily basis. We know that the Foundation for Human Rights, a highly respected organization in this country, has been running a program called the Unfinished Business of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Why? Because perpetrators who are implicated in the apartheid crimes that were committed in this country have not been held accountable.
In South African courts, there have been efforts to fight apartheid offenders. Take the Credit 4 case fought by Tembeka Ngcukaitobi. Some people say that these cases have no real consequences because most of the perpetrators are dead. And those who are alive say they don't remember their gross crimes, or even blame it on the ones that are dead that gave them the instructions. It's messy, but important.
We know exactly what it looks like when crimes are not acknowledged. We live on a day-to-day basis with the reality and the legacy of apartheid not being dealt with as a crime in this country. There are segments of white South Africans who are claiming to be victims of genocide. All of these things become a cycle. When you don't recognize who the perpetrators are and who victims are in a particular context, down the line, you have perpetrators claiming victimhood.
Hear me out. We have to clarify how brutal apartheid was, because if we don't acknowledge the victims and we ultimately rob them of justice. Does any of this resonate with you? Remember, we cannot deal with the consequences of the brutality of apartheid if we are still unsure of how criminal and bad it actually was and how important it is for justice to be served.